Who are your customers now, Mike? And how do they progress from where you were, 20 years ago to today? And relationships, I know, are a big deal, but who are your type of customers today that you serve the best?
The clients that we serve the best are the ones who are ready to transform to get momentum. And so early in my career, I was all about politics. And I knew from the time I was at Latin that I didn't want to be a king, but I wanted to be a kingmaker. And what I mean by that is I ran for student government twice and I lost. And I'm like, oh, this isn't very good. You can put all this effort in and you still lose the election. And so that's if you become the king, you can get shot or you can lose.
Yeah.
But if you're a kingmaker, you can just move from king to king to king, giving your best advice. So I decided to go the consulting route. And initially, my clients have been Bill and Hillary Clinton, have been Mike Bloomberg. Like I've worked at a very high level, getting people elected. And you understand what is the right message? What are the right issues? How do you gain momentum right into election day? That's what politics are all about. So I took those lessons from the campaign trail and then applied it to businesses. And I'm going to date myself, but I was working early on in Coke versus Pepsi, Domino's versus Papa John's, AT&T versus MCI, BlackBerry versus iPhone. Like I've been in all those battles, helping take the lessons from the campaign trail, applying it to business. And then I took it to the higher level and just started working directly for those companies who were disrupting the marketplace and wanted to change the world. So my clients now are Airbnb, disrupting travel, Lyft, just disrupting how we get around. And unfortunately, one of my clients was WeWork, which was a wonderful company, but had a sort of less than reputable CEO, who I didn't know.
Yeah. Boy, those are fun business to be around, though. They're not always going to be, the ultimate success stories, right? You've got a lot of things around that, but boy, to be around emerging industries like you've been, and big political careers, there's so much wisdom for you to gain over the years that you could be laying on these young people around you, right? Basically sharing your experiences with them, so they could be way more valuable than they'd be otherwise. That's awesome.
And politics teaches you how to lose. Like it teaches you how to win, but you lose many more elections than you win. And so you learn how to move on, take the lessons that you learned from a particular election, what went right, what went wrong, and you move on to the next thing. That's what I loved about politics, is that you can't be a one-man show. You have to be able to operate within a team environment or the candidate loses.
Yeah.
And so those lessons were invaluable, even though I ultimately decided that I didn't want to stay a political consultant, because politics is a very tough business.
Yeah, it is. It's a tough business, and many people are telling me it's a dirty game, and be ready for a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, but it's a dirty game for people who don't want to get dirty. Like every game, every business is hard. Every business, you've got to, get in. In politics, it's all in. And if you're even a little bit not committed, the voters will sniff you out and they'll reject you. And you've got to feel it inside that you're going to do this no matter what. And if you're compelled in that way, voters will get behind you. And if they see any indecision or question your motives, you're done.